What's going on, guys? PXCam20 back in with a brand new video. We are here for a brand new week of daily races at Suzuka as we are running around in the Group 3 cars. And to be honest, guys, this is going to be a little bit different from the majority of the videos just because I wasn't able to capture the race. Unfortunately, my Elgato has been acting up lately, and I was only able to get the replay version of the race. So you guys are going to see those really pesky black bars on the top and the bottom. So just giving you guys a forewarning here. So we're going to jump into the race. Let's see how we do. As we jump into our race now, we are starting off in 5th place as this was a race I did earlier in our American account, and you can see right up ahead we got 2 Canadians, a Colombian and a Brazilian in first, and we're gonna see what we can do here now as we cross the start finish line to lead our way to the first lap. So heading into turn number 1 here at Suzuka, we are gonna go nice and easy here because I don't know if you guys have been doing this race often this week, but heading into turn number 1 with these cars, for some reason some people just get it wrong and go a little bit wide, and once you touch that AstroTurf on the left hand side, your day is basically done and you are spinning. So we wanted to avoid that. Luckily we navigated our way into turn number 1 and looked like everybody else behind it too, nice and safely. So we're able to just find ourselves right behind the Canadian of Ava right up ahead. And so we're just following him, leading ourselves into Degner 1 and Degner 2, just spotting a braking point, taking it nice and easy. We are in the Porsche, so the reason why I like to pick this car is due to the strategy. So the strategy on this race, you're given the mediums and the hards, but I believe the requirements are to use both tires. And so we started off on the hards, and we're just going to use those up until lap number 4 and then run the mediums all the way till the end of the race, since the tire wear is there, but it's not as bad as it is on other races. So the Porsche does really well with the tire wear. I'm not sure too much about the GTR up ahead and some of these other cars. I know that Yidol up in 3rd place is going to be doing pretty well as we make a little bit of contact with Ava coming off of Spoon. But yeah, us in the Yidol are probably going to do really well with the tire wear. But do expect the GTR and some of these other cars that lack in tire performance to start sliding back here around lap number 3 or 4. So we go a little bit wide off of 130Rs, which just had the slipstream of Ava and just did not compensate for the difference in speed. So we go a little bit wide, but luckily we were able to hold off our position. But we're gonna switch over now to lap number 2, and we're gonna keep it on the 3rd person cam, so a little bit of like a Super GT type of throwback here, as he used to race in this type of cam mode. But we're gonna race in the 3rd person cam from here all the way to the end, so you guys can kind of see the action and get like a good feel of the battle that we were having as we progress later on into the race. But we're still stuck in 5th place right behind Ava, as we are just trying to close the gap here, seeing if when that GTR is going to start losing its pace due to the tire wear, because the GTR is really quick. It's a good car to use during qualifying, but just for racing, in my opinion, it's just not a good overall performing car. I mean, you can get away a lot if you know how to use it in the beginning, but if you're struggling with the car, and you can see right here, Ava actually gets a half a second penalty for running wide. But if you're struggling with the car, it's going to be a handful towards the end of the stint of the tires, and that's kind of the reason why I just decided to pick a car that just has a lot better in tire wear. So we're all over the back now of the GTR as we come into Dunlop Curve, and we're just being patient because we know Ava's got a half a second penalty. He's been pretty decent with the pace. I'm assuming that 3rd and up are using the medium compound tires, that's why they're pulling away so much. But as we come out of Degner 2, we actually get a car spun out, and it's the Colombian in the Viper that actually spins out, and that is very unlucky for him, as he's gonna lose probably 5, 6, maybe even 10 positions. I know I went from 5 to 6 to 10 really quick, but he's gonna lose a lot of positions at the end of the day, and that's very unfortunate for him. But fortunate for us, we're able to gain 1 free position, and we're just gonna follow right back along here with Ava as we go into Spoon Curve. So I was looking to make a move onto the outside before Spoon Curve, but I just decided twice about it, and just told myself, alright, just be patient, we're gonna hit the penalty zone here. He serves his penalty, and there we go. Now we are up in the podium, and all we have to do is just focus on hitting our marks, making sure our lap times are good, and maybe we can come home with even a win here or second place. But we're heading into lap number 4, and I decided to get you guys a perspective from another driver. So we got Dirty Tati right behind us, or Dirty Tati. I don't know if I said that right, but if I did, awesome. Anyways, we're riding along with him here on lap number 4, and you can see we're up right ahead. And I wanted to show you guys the difference in lines that we were having here with Dirty Tati, as I'm really running defensive lines so that I can hold him up for just one more lap, because I know he's on the mediums. He's got really great pace compared to us, but if we can hold him up and keep him behind us as long as we can, that means that we're kind of nipping away the advantage that he has than if he were to get ahead of us, because once he gets ahead of us, all he's going to be doing is pulling away. But the longer we can keep him behind, the more he abuses his tires, and when we come into the pits and come out, hopefully the gap isn't too big compared to both of us. But heading into the hairpin, Dirty Tati was able to just sneak up into the inside. We gave him plenty of room, and now we get overtaken by him. But we are going to come in this lap, switch off our hards, and switch it to the mediums. So what's good about here is that from here all the way to the end of the lap, or at least to pit, it's basically a long straight with 130R. So if we could just stay in the slipstream, it's not like we're going to lose a lot of time. And that's kind of what's actually happening here, is coming down the straight, heading into 130R, you can see how much time, or yes, time we were actually able to save and just keep the gap kind of to a minimum. So that's going to definitely help us out a lot here, because we're going to switch off to the fastest compound tire, and we should hopefully have open track so we can just put in some quick flying laps and make sure that we get the undercut on a lot of these guys that are going to come into the pits a little bit later. So we come in, we make our stop, and so do a few other guys right behind us, and so they decided to do the same strategy of starting off on the hards and then coming in around lap 4 and switching off to the medium. So it's basically, there's our stop. We are now from here to the end just on full on push mode, and gonna try to abuse these mediums as we catch up to the 10th place driver of Faristi. So right behind Faristi, we're just riding along and heading into Degner 2 as we almost make contact with his rear. And this is a really difficult point, because you know you're faster than some of these guys up ahead due to the pace, but also just because you're on better compound tires. But you can see that we still have to be patient and kind of manage our moves where we want to make them, because we do want to be aggressive and make the moves as soon as possible, but we don't want to ruin anybody else's day. So we're just riding along, staying right behind him and heading into Spoon Curve. But as we head into Spoon Curve, he misses his apex, goes a little bit wide, gets very, very loose, and heads straight into that AstroTurf, that nasty stuff they don't want to touch. As we jump into the replay, we're riding on board right here, kind of like adventure racing, what his perspective would be like. And you can just see, not exact, actually, you know what, you can't see, I really don't know exactly what happened to him. He looked like he got onto the throttle, and the back end just got a little bit loose and just couldn't control it off the exit Spoon Curve, and that was the result there, as we were able to get around him nice and easy. And we now find ourselves up into 7th place, and some other guys had to come into the pits here on lap number 5. So on to lap number 6, we're riding along with Roll On Racing, as I just wanted to show you guys again the perspective of a different driver, and kind of just show you guys what I'm doing to defend our position here on the S's, leading us to Degner 1, Degner 2, since some of the cars right behind us were a lot faster. And we're just running normal lines at this point, because he's still not close enough to try to make an overtake. But you can see heading into Degner 1 and Degner 2, we're kind of running defensive lines upon entrance. And then once I see that he is not close enough for a threat, we just decide to go back to running a normal racing line. And that's kind of what's going to happen here heading to the hairpin. So keep on to the right hand side, kind of, you know, not keep it always to the right hand side, kind of just park it on the apex as well. And luckily we were able to get a really great exit and kind of pull away from Roland. So things are working out pretty well for us, as we are now trying to catch up to the Brazilian of Andre up in 6th. And the gap is closing down here, as we are now starting to come out of Spoon Curve. We're starting to feel less of a threat from Roland right behind us, since we were able to manage the gap against him. It's about 4/10 of a second away, and if he does get the run right here, we're gonna hold off onto the inside and defend his run heading into 130R. But you can see that right there, he actually decided to not try to fight us. He actually went to work with us and gave us a little bit of a tap heading to 130R. So I appreciate that, Roland. He just thinking about the bigger picture. But as we head into the chicane, Andre gets really bad into the entrance. Gets really loose because he touched that nasty green AstroTurf, and we were able to get around him nice and easy. Really didn't lose too much time. We probably lost about a tenth or two, but it could have been a lot worse if he would have accidentally came onto the track right into us. And we now find ourselves in third place since everybody else decided to come in and finish their stints on the mediums and switch off to the hard. So now in third place we have the Canadian of J-Ride right up ahead of us, and he's on the hard compound tire. So we have about 3 laps to try to close the gap and do everything we can to get around him. And luckily we were able to also get away from Roland as he was fighting with Ava. So both of them were fighting. They were pushing their luck here and fighting with each other, so we were able to pull away. And I think the gap actually went from about 0.3 of a second from Roland to about a second and a half away from Ava. So we're good here. We don't have to worry about people right behind us. All we have to do is focus on J-Ride right ahead of us and doing everything we can to get around him. So 2.5 laps left in the race. We're just riding in the slipstream, and you can see we do have the pace or the better pace compared to him, and we're just staying along in the slipstream. Maybe thinking about making a move into 130R, but again, 2 laps to go. We have to be patient. We don't want to do anything stupid. We don't want to take him out, and we definitely don't want to fight too much where we allow Ava to catch up, and then it turns from a 2-car battle to a 3-car battle. So we're just riding along, staying right behind him, just kind of managing the pace, and just seeing what lap times we are doing by working with him. And you can see we were able to kind of get a really great run heading to turn number 1. Decided to back out there. I knew he wasn't going to back out going into the inside, so we just stay along right behind him and just follow along. Don't want to go side by side into the S's, and we're just going to see if maybe an opportunity opens up when we head into the hairpin. So just setting ourselves up. We are trying to avoid him right here at this point because it looked like he got a really bad entrance heading into the left part of the S's, and we were able to kind of back out of the throttle and avoid making contact with his rear. But heading to Degner 1, Degner 2, I was a little bit worried because this is usually the part where we mess up because we just don't really know where the apex is at. When you're riding on hood view, it's a little bit difficult to kind of notice where your apex is at when you're that close to a car, and that actually hurt us. As you saw off of Degner 1, we did go a little bit slidey onto the left hand side, and they kind of killed a little bit of our momentum that we were having, and we actually kind of opened up the gap from J-Ride here. So hopefully we can make up some time going into Spoon Curve as we are finding our breaking point, making sure that we clip the apexes. J-Ride goes a little bit wide, misses that first apex. We hit the second apex and so does he, but we do get a better exit compared to him. And this is going to be interesting here because we're going to have the slipstream big time, and he's going to defend the inside going into 130R. We move to the right, and it's going to be side by side. One of us is going to have to give, and it looks like none of us do, and we actually run a tad bit wide, hit that green AstroTurf, almost the shades of lap number 1, and look at that, we lose a lot of time, and also we get dirty tires as we head back into the chicane. But not only that, Ava now in 4th place is really starting to catch up, as during the race he was actually only about 0.6 away from us here at this point because of all the fighting that me and J-Ride were doing. So we're now on the final lap. I have to worry about Ava catching up to us and turning this into a 3-car battle. But not only that, we messed up big time going to 130R, and I have to re-close that gap that we lost on J-Ride. So only about 75% of a lap left. We're into the S's. We know that we have a better car and a better tire compound on compared to J-Ride. So I just have to make sure that I clip all these apexes correctly. Don't let the pressure get to me, and we could probably make an overtake at the later stages of this lap. So into Dunlop Curve, we did make a little mistake, unfortunately, but not letting that hit us too much, as we did clip Degner 1, Degner 2 nice and good, made our nice apex, and we're able to kind of close the gap a little bit on J-Ride here as we head into the hairpin for the final time. So kind of took a defensive line, seeing if I can do anything I can to just find time, and we did gain some time heading into the entrance of the hairpin, but on the exit he did get a better acceleration off, and he was able to manage that gap here as we head into spoon curve for the final time. So both of us clipped the apex great, and that's not what I wanted. I wanted him to kind of miss his apex to slow himself down, but we do have the assistance of the toe here for the final time down the straight, and we're just seeing if we can close up the gap here. So we're gonna head back into the left-hander and look for our breaking point, make sure that we don't go too wide, and it's starting to look like things are gonna run out of time here as we head into chicane for the final time. We close the gap a lot, abuse that track limits there as we get a great run on the exit, stay on the slipstream. We're gonna move it all the way to the right hand side so we can catch up to J-Ride, and unfortunately we're not, but we at least come home with the 3rd place podium position after starting in 5th. So not too shabby of a race, great run against J-Ride, and really look forward to racing against him and Ava and some of these other guys again as the week progresses, because we did race a lot of times this night, and to be honest, we had some amazing races. So kudos to them, and kudos to this track and this daily race, because honestly it's been really great. But we're gonna see how we can progress ourselves forward, maybe just get better qualifying times, and just maybe try to find a better strategy for this race. But I'm really liking the hards for the first stint, and then using those up until lap 4, then switching out to the mediums. But who knows, maybe you guys are using a different strategy and it's working out better for you guys. But let me know how you guys are thinking about this race. Leave it in the comments down below, and if you guys really enjoyed this video, which I hope you guys did, feel free to hit that like button and the subscribe button down below, as it really helps out the channel when you guys do so. And if you guys want to follow me on the Twitters, Instagram, or even on Discord, where we talk about racing, Minecraft, and all these other fun stuff, you can find all those links in the description down below. And since you guys made it here all the way to the end, I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, I hope to see you guys on the next one. Peace out.